Thank you. Good morning, Councilmember Wells. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you on this crucially important issue that's close to my heart. My name is Tara Libert, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of Free Minds Book Club and Writing Workshop. And for the last 12 years, we have been able to go to the jail twice a week and work with youth charged as adults. We use the tools of books and writing as well as reentry services to awaken these youth to their own potential. I've seen young men and boys who feel that they have no hope, no future beyond prison or an early death pick up a book for the first time and discover that they can indeed have a positive future. I am here today to tell you I cannot stress how important it is to have reading materials for the emotional health of the members of the inmates at the DC jail. It allows them to express themselves in a positive outlet, empathize with other perspectives, understand themselves better, and connect with a broader community of support. I'm asking the City Council to consider funding for a permanent library, reading library, outside of the law library at the DC jail. And the entire city government needs to be behind this, not just the Department of Corrections, which I recognize has a very limited budget. Books can be a great aid in times of extreme emotional stress and trauma. We have had many members write to us how depressed and thinking of suicide that they were, but yet when we mailed them a book, they got support through the book and talking to other people, it turned them around. We realized that case managers and social workers cannot be available 24/7 to the inmates. It's just not possible. So we see a reading library as a vitally important complement to the overall mental health treatment at the jail. I'm going to give you an excerpt of a recent letter from one of our members in federal prison who had just witnessed a killing of a murder of a fellow inmate. Dear Free Minds, right now I feel really, really bad, and I mean really, really bad. What I guess I'm trying to say at this moment, the prison is on lockdown and probably will be for a long time because someone died right in front of me. You know, it really sucks because he will never see his family and friends again. He'll never read a book again or even smile. I've come to realize that those are the things that count in life. Being able to read a book, to laugh, it's over for him. I've never felt this bad. I didn't know what to do. But one positive thing happened. While I was in lockdown in my cell, I found a book, and that's all in caps. As you know, the power that lies in a good book to tell you, it's so beautifully written. I cried and I cried and I wrote, and I cannot be more thankful for this book. We believe that this jail should be a priority, and we believe that the DC Public Library should be brought in to provide services as well. There is many examples of other cities that work closely with public libraries to provide books to prisoners. We want to make this an urgent priority. Books that are related to trauma, grief, loss, depression, but also books about characters who have undergone tremendous hardship and have changed their lives, like Nelson Mandela, Holocaust survivors, are vitally important. I'm going to close to say that we have been fortunate to be able to provide books to youth charged as adults, but we need to expand this to everyone. I'm going to pass it over to my very courageous and brave members who are all at the jail, who are here to support their fellow brothers and sisters at the jail about a library.
Thank you very much. Next.
Good morning. My name is Alicia Carrington. I work for Free Minds Book Club and Writing Workshop as an outreach specialist. When I was 16 years old, I was charged as an adult and incarcerated over DC jail on solitary confinement for 2 years straight. During those 2 years, I suffered with the mental illness of depression, bipolar, and personality disorder. I became very depressed. I was very lonely, and when I was 17, I tried to commit suicide. After my suicide attempt, I was introduced to Free Minds Book Club. Through Free Minds Book Club, I was able to start reading and writing, and it provided me an outlet, and it gave me hope by reading stories of other people who was going through similar struggles who had made it. I just want to say that books have always been there for me in my darkest hours. They always help push me and give me the motivation and the hope that I needed to deal with what I was going through. And I want to ask you guys to provide the inmates at DC jail with the same option and the same outlet. Even if an inmate can't read, they can always have activity books or drawing books that could provide them, you know, an escape from what they're going through. And I want to thank you guys for your time and letting me speak.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carrington. Next.
My name is Maurice Behinder. I'm gonna read something that I wrote because I'm not that good at speaking. It say, thank you for allowing me to express my opinion on why it would be beneficial to having a library in the jail for inmates and to reduce the suicide rate in the jail. I think that having a library in the jail would be beneficial for the inmates because some people lack knowledge, so they act without knowledge, which leads to the incarceration. When they are at the jail, they have a lot of idle time, and they can use that time to try and learn something that can help them to have a better future than their past. I would like to quote one of my favorite quotes from Malcolm X. Don't be in such a hurry to condemn a person because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. I believe that if you give a person the opportunity to learn and show them a better way, then eventually they would want to do better. Having a library in the jail would be beneficial for the workers and the inmates because there would be less criminal activities going on. People would have more activities to do to keep their mind going in a positive direction. The jail would be helping inmates rehabilitate themselves because it is impossible to rehabilitate yourself without knowledge, because if they leave the same way they come in, where do you think they would be heading in the future? Just because they were incarcerated doesn't automatically change their mindset. I came from this situation having been incarcerated at the jail for several years when I was 16 years old. The one thing that helped me through my time was reading. It gave me a whole different outlook on life, thanks to a program called Free Minds Book Club, who supplied me with books and encouraged my personal growth while I was doing my time. I believe most importantly, the reading library will help with the subject at hand today, which is suicide. For example, let's say someone who has been incarcerated for criminal activities and been always used to what some people call the fast life and always doing things, and now that you are incarcerated, the time is like dog years. They also don't know much. They also don't know how much the time, and they might be stressing and having anxieties. So now that you locked up and you can't do what you want to do, it's like you don't have nothing but idle time. And so now idle thoughts come in your head, and the only way to get rid of that time that you subject yourself to is like maybe suicide. So if you're reading, you could have something to do other than just think about the time that you got to face.
Thank you very much, Ms. Libert. Has there been any exploration ever, any relationship to the DC Public Library, making books available through the library?
So I've reached out to them, and they've reached out to me on the juvenile unit, but we haven't gone farther than that. As I say, like, I would totally volunteer to be a consultant in it. It's just capacity for us is so we're at capacity working with the youth, but I think it could be explored. I think they would have an interest.
Do you know of any other jurisdiction that has the relationship to their public library with the
Yes,
local
New York Public Library, and I put in my testimony there's a link to how that program works, and there are many others that do it. But I think the most important thing is to stress is a paid librarian with high quality, appropriate books. We have wonderful, dedicated volunteers that drop books off at the jail, but they are not targeted to the needs, and it needs to be available all the time. I realize there's not a lot of space at the jail, and we have wonderful case managers who do, give out the books, but they don't have a lot of space. We just need to make this a priority to figure out how it can work. And also Deontay has, he's replacing Karan Callio. Yeah.
So Deontay, did you have testimony?
Yes, sir. How you doing? My name is Deontay Harder, and I just recently left from over DC jail in April. Yes, April of this year. And sorry, I never did this before. But it all started, I was depressed. I had suicide thoughts. as I was growing up, which started, I would say they started around 2003. Well, I got incarcerated at 2004, and they became stronger and stronger. I was moved from a juvenile facility to DC jail as still a juvenile, Title 16 charge. And I stopped going to school when I was young, so my reading was not up to par. You know, it was kind of hard. So when I was offered the books, and I was fighting a serious charge, but I was offered the opportunity to read and help keep my mind clear of reality, of what was really going on and the seriousness of my situation. And it really, it really helped me. It really helped me, and I've been going in and out of DC jail since 2004. Since 2004, 2005, and was just recently released. Have did months, weeks, and years over there. And it's really hard without the books. It's really hard. You have too much idle time to think. You have too much time in your cell. It's really hard. Thank you for my testimony.
I think all your testimony is very good and very helpful and provides a human face to the need, and you're also advocating on behalf of so many others, and not just yourselves, on saying what it would make in terms of a difference. We'll explore it, and we'll see what we can do, and we'll also see what the best practices are in terms of other cities with using their jurisdictional libraries. Anything else you want to add?
I would think also outside of the library is if the library is stretched to its own capacity too with their funding, but if we could have a paid staff person to do the library, or maybe even get grant funds for books, specific books, as well as the library being one option, I would stress that a lot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. I appreciate it, and very proud of you all coming down here today. You did a great job.
Thank you.